Call halal la Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Waha, Racha, Kwadash. All praises and glory go to you, Lord. Double honors and respect go to our apostles, bishops, elders, and teachers, the men of Great Millstone. To you I say Shalom. Salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Amriah, and it looks like we're moving closer to that prophecy outlined here in Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20, and Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45, I believe. All right. And I have it here before we read the article that I have for you. It states, therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom. And Edom is Esau Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, all right, headed up by the tribe of Amalek, which are the JOOs today, all right, these Israelis, all right. Therefore hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom in his purposes, that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And without going into a whole bunch of study right now, what this is dealing with is the least of the flock being this modern day Israelis, all right? And they're going to draw out the bear, Russia, to destroy America, Babylon the Great, all right? And through the Spirit, we perceive this is beginning, all right? So it's not much longer left. We're still just waiting on that MOT to the B, which is the microchip, to be implemented. But let's read the article that I have for you and come back with some more scriptures. All right. I have here pulled up on Ken's 5 news app. It says, explosions ring out across Iran's capital as Israel claims it is attacking the country. Goes on to say, the attack comes as tensions have reached new heights over Tehran's rapid advancing nuclear program. The Board of Governors at the International Atomic Energy Agency, for the first time in 20 years on Thursday, censored Iran over it not working with its inspectors, okay? Iran immediately announced it would establish a third enrichment site in the country and swap out some centrifuges for more advanced ones. Israel for years has warned it will not allow Iran to build a nuclear weapon, something Tehran insists it doesn't want. Though officials there have repeatedly warned it could. The U.S. has been preparing for something to happen, already pulling some diplomats from Iraq's capital and offering voluntary evacuations for the families of U.S. troops in the wider Middle East. People in Tehran awoke to the sound of the blast. State television acknowledged the blast. It wasn't immediately clear what had been hit, though smoke could be seen basically rising from Chigar, a neighborhood in western Tehran. Let's watch a video on this.
Okay, so why are they striking Tehran? On the map, there's no nuclear facilities in Tehran. Am I mistaken here? Oh, there are.
There's a research reactor.
Reactor?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But who knows?
But striking the capital seems to be a major escalation, Blake.
Yeah, I don't want to presume. There could be any number of reasons. It could be that there are military facilities there they want to hit, so that could be like elements of their military command structure. Maybe that's where some of their like fighters are based or their like air defenses. So there's any number of reasons they could hit it, because presumably they're banking on, even if they want to strike the nuclear targets, there's so many potential complications to this, depending on how Iran chooses to strike back, whether they choose to strike back, that it'd be highly unlikely that the only thing they would hit would be just the nuclear sites. And so I don't know what they would be aiming at, but there's any number of possible
preemptive military strikes on the interior of Iran against nuclear reactors. So, Jack, I want to throw this to you as from an intel standpoint. You could kind of see this building. Yesterday you saw Tom Cotton and Lindsey Graham say, hey, are they close to a bomb in Iran? Are they close to a bomb in Iran? The skeptics would say that, well, we've been hearing that for the last 30 years, that Iran is close to a nuclear weapon, close to a nuclear weapon. So Jack, as from an intel standpoint, was Iran close to a nuclear weapon? Now, the question of is doesn't really mean anything. So tell us, what is really going on here, and can we trust the intel agencies?
Well, Charlie, this, of course, has been one of the most fractured debates that's going on from the intel community and members of the U.S. political community, as well as the Israeli political community, as I mentioned before, with Prime Minister Netanyahu really pushing for these strikes, of course, for quite some time, years in many cases, and has directly targeted these facilities with a variety of cyber attacks and other attacks over the years. The question comes down to, and the intel community's official assessment, everyone I've talked to in the intel community has always, and even from my time there, has said that Iran did not have an active weapons of mass destruction program in the sense that, in the sense of having a actual nuclear weapons program. But what they were doing was this uranium enrichment. And the question, of course, and even, by the way, even DNI Gabbard, who many people pointed to as say that obviously she's no hawk, even she pointed out that their uranium enrichment was much higher, at a much higher yield than anyone would need for only a fuel program or only for nuclear energy. And so a lot of the war hawks have been pointing to that, saying, look, it's clear that they're going to do this in order to try to ratchet up their ability for escalation. And so,
All right. So Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20 again. And Salakia, I said that the bear would destroy America, Babylon the Great, but also the bear is going to destroy the modern day JOOs, or the Israelis. Okay. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right. Russia is about to bring pain upon America, Babylon the Great, and the modern day Israeli state. Verse 21. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall. At the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra. Modern day Basra is America, Babylon the Great. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white race, be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Right. And we're on the doorstep of that right now. This also aligns with the prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 38. Okay. Which I'm going to grab real quick, because I don't want this video being too long. All right. We're here in Ezekiel chapter 38, and we'll begin at verse 2. But all of this goes to the prophecy being outlined that Russia shall be a guard, or Gog shall be a guard onto Persia. And Gog is Russia. The Persians are the Iranians. Okay. So in these latter days, you have the Israelis provoking an altercation with Iran, knowing that America, Babylon the Great, more than likely is going to back them up on any of their plays that they make. And also knowing that Russia will back up Iran. Verse 2 says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. All right. And this deals with modern day Russia. And say, thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sort of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And how is the Lord putting hooks in their jaws? By escalating this situation with Iran through the Israelis, the tribe of Amalek, the head tribe of Esau, Edom. All right. Verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company, that thou art assembled unto thee, and thou be a guard unto them. And this is why I say this is going to bring out that prophecy in Jeremiah chapter 49 and chapter 50, dealing with the least of the flock, drawing out the bear. Okay? Skipping down to verse 10, all right, for time's sake. Thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, it shall also come to pass that at that time, at the same time, shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And what shall that evil thought be? All right. To utterly annihilate his enemy, America, Babylon the Great, the house of Esau, Edom, and the head tribe, Amalek, the modern day Israelis, all right, with thermonuclear fire. So that evil thought is not nice, man. All right. Verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. This is speaking to America, Babylon the Great. Verse 12, to take spoil, all right, rewards of winning war, to take spoil and to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Question mark. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, shalt thou not know it. Verse 15, and thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses in a great company, and a mighty army, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, which is modern day state of Israel. Verse 16, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days, which we are living in, all right? We are living in. And I will bring thee against my land, all right, which is Jerusalem, where the Gaza Strip and Israel lies today, okay? That the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. So things are getting very interesting. And as they escalate, we will keep our eyes on this situation. But before World War III can crack off, all right, before it truly dawns that bodies are about to drop, that MOTB, the micro C-hip, must be made mandatory. All right. Until next time, Shalom.